Hi, I'm Scott from Jostens. I'm an ambassador of our Jostens Renaissance Education Division, and welcome to our Commitment to Graduate Assembly. Well, of course, not this year. No assemblies allowed, right? But we still wanted to put together a very special video presentation for you. This is especially for freshmen, 9th graders, first year of high school, or perhaps for 8th graders matriculating up to high school. Now, we're going to show you a lot of things here, and our hope is you're going to say, yep, I'm good, I'm doing that, I'm right where I need to be. Great. I'm pretty sure we're going to show you one or two things on here you're going to say, whoa, hold it, I had no idea about that. And then at the end, we're going to ask you to do something special, something that all the adults, administrators, and teachers and your parents think is pretty darn important. So stay tuned for more on that. First off, we're going to start with this photo. All right, take a good close look. We have these three ladies here, and they're standing behind this big thing. All right, wherever you might be right now, what do you think that big thing is? Now, when we do assemblies, almost always, the first guess is either a casket or a coffin. No. All right, now take another good close look at the picture once again. Look at the size of the three ladies and so on. If that were a casket or a coffin, you'd probably have to squeeze the person into the coffin, which would be disgusting. No, that's not it. So how about another guess? What exactly is that thing? Now, if you guessed maybe a treasure chest, well, you're really close. Now, the official name for this it's called a hope chest. Now, it's been my experience, usually this is mostly a girl thing. I don't know many guys that have a hope chest. You could have one, that's fine, anybody can. We have these three ladies, they're from Colorado. That's mom in the middle and her two daughters on either side. And the story here is that when her daughters graduated from high school, mom got each one of them a very large, usually really good wood chest. And the idea with a hope chest is you put very valuable things in there. Now, maybe not value like money. Maybe value like, I'm going to put stuff in here that I'm going to keep for the rest of my life. Because that's what a lot of folks do with their hope chests. They keep it forever. If you look real close, there's sort of a white frilly thing in there. Probably a wedding dress or a wedding veil. A lot of women like to keep that after they get married. A lot of these things usually end up in a hope chest. Down here we have, of course, class jewelry. That's sort of a sophomore thing. You should be hearing about that during a sophomore year. And by the way, free plug, Jostens has the best class jewelry anywhere. If you're familiar with the Super Bowl rings and most of the sports championship rings, yeah, we make most of those. So our class jewelry, and not just rings, is awesome. Wait for more on that later. I'm more interested in these other things here. If we go right to left, course, cap and gown, senior announcements for folks that do that sort of stuff, and of course there on the left-hand side, high school diploma. All right, here's a question. How many of you would like to make $1 million? Raise your hand. Oh, I see a lot of hands out there in video land. Well, in a few minutes, I'm going to give you the secret on how you can get $1 million. This is not a joke. It's not a hoax. And it doesn't involve the lottery because you're too young to play that anyway. So stay tuned for that. Now, we're going to play some other videos in this video featuring young people just like yourselves. And we have a really diverse mix of people. In this first video, they're going to introduce themselves to you, and then they're going to give you some advice. Now, again, hopefully you're doing a lot of this stuff. If not, pay attention. You might pick up a thing or two here that could really help you out, all right? So let's see what they have to say. Here we go.
My name is Bobby Lewis.
Erica Elise Edwards.
Taylor Plusty. Isabella Rivera.
Kamana Bradley.
Matthew Arnold.
Ashley Shazay.
Kayla Orozco.
Brett Moriali.
My name's Rebecca Spear.
Justin Snyder.
Steve.
I'm Mackenzie Northington.
Edgar Poe.
Haley Weaver.
I think I'm most proud of graduating, like top of my class. I should be in top 5 of my class when I graduate. And I think that's a really big accomplishment.
I will be attending the United States Army Academy at West Point.
I want to major in biology, and after that I want to go to med school.
After graduation, I plan on going to the University of Arizona. I'm going to become a business major. I hope to become an entrepreneur.
I want to become a nurse because I'm a very friendly person. I feel like I have the niche to be one. I feel like I'd be a great one. I was told that I could be a great one.
10 or 15 years from now, I plan on being in the military.
I want to attend Southeastern Louisiana University.
I think I either want to go into medicine or something involving math.
My freshman year, I started knowing nobody I didn't have one friend, I didn't know anybody.
I was definitely a little afraid of high school. I mean, it's a new place, lots of new people, and I wasn't sure if I'd know anyone in my classes.
I was just scared that I wouldn't really meet anyone new. I came from such a small school that I was scared.
It's not as bad as you think it's gonna be. It really isn't.
I think what I've learned around here is to be very well-rounded and to be very outgoing.
Get involved. Getting involved is the easiest way to make friends.
If you're not involved in anything, you really don't have the motivation that other people have.
It kind of helps you stay focused, because if you're not involved, you probably won't care, or you're just going to be going through the motions.
I would give freshmen this advice. It's really cliche. I should have paid attention to it when I was a freshman, but don't slack off. Just do your work when it's due.
If I could go back and change anything within these past 4 years in high school, I'd definitely be at school more, pay attention a little bit more, go to bed early, make sure I was awake for that first class, and make sure I really paid attention.
Having played 3 sports all of my high school years, I know that it's necessary to be able to balance my time with sports and school. I just make sure that I'm using my time effectively.
Make goals for yourself and make sure you know what you're going to do to make those goals happen.
The most important thing for a student to focus on, I think, would be education, their academics.
Academic achievement is very important for me because my dad dropped out of high school. My mom finished high school but didn't, push herself and go all the way with it. And I wanted to be the first person in my family, to push myself and go to a major university and get a degree.
It is about working hard and doing your best, and also about, making friends and hanging out and, having that social life as well. But it's this combination of all those different aspects that come together and create this high school experience that really helps shape your life.
I want people to remember me as a nice person, and that I was willing to help people, and I'm friendly, and I didn't turn down a hey from anybody. I'd always say hey back or hug them or whatever.
I want people to remember me as a go-getter, that I saw something and I wanted it and I got it because I worked for it. I don't want things handed to me. I want to be someone that was seen that worked for everything that I got.
I love to be remembered as someone who was really involved in the community in Vail, to make a difference just in the smallest ways.
I guess as a person that actually did it all, not all oh, she did everything. No, I mean, gave it all, did my very best. If I can say after graduation that, wow, the last 4 years I did work my hardest, I did do my best, and I did cling on to every relationship and every adventure that my friends and I would get into, then it'd be worth it, and that's how I would like to be remembered.
All right, some interesting views there. Hope you got something out of that. But here's the big key right now, especially for freshmen, that first year of high school. You need to begin your high school career with the end in mind. All right, so imagine there you are. You're in line on the big day coming up in 2024. You got the cap and gown on. You're in line to get your diploma. You have made it. But it starts now, not later. A lot of students think, well, I'll get around to that stuff maybe when I'm a junior. No. Sophomore. No. Right now, right away, if you haven't started already, because it's that important. Now, hopefully you're doing all this stuff. We want you to own your high school experience. Those 6 things there on the left-hand side of the screen. I'm going to point out the one at the bottom. You own your future. Nobody else does. Your parents? Nope, they don't. Your best friend? Nope, they don't either. If you have a boyfriend, girlfriend? Nope, not them either. You do. And so the thought here for your high school experience, we want you to grab it with both hands and really do something with it because it's that important. So this 4-year high school experience, what is this thing all about? Let's see if you agree with these folks.
You definitely get a lot more homework when you get into high school, and the teachers do expect more of you, but they're also there to help you. So there is a big jump between the amount of work you do, but it's nothing that can't be handled.
When I was a freshman, I thought academics weren't really that necessary, but as I got older, I have stepped up my grades, and
bouncing back from being a freshman and having bad grades, it's a hard step.
You have to stay on top of stuff in high school because, I mean, things come and go really quick. You get a lot of homework and tests and stuff.
You want to get your work done first because in the end, you may be a great athlete, you may be a great member of your club, but the work is going to carry you from now for the rest of your life. What you learn now carries you for the rest of your life.
And even if you aren't getting it right, don't get frustrated. Just most teachers, if they see that you tried, it's enough, and they'll help you with any of the problems you had with it.
Well, the very simple bottom line of this entire video is right here on the screen. Your first year of high school is the most important year of your life. So far. Yeah, you got some really cool things coming down the pike, but it all starts now. As they kind of mentioned in that last clip, if you sort of dig yourself a hole now, it is really darn difficult to dig out later on. So this first year, freshman year, is the crucial year maybe of your entire high school career. Now, not easy being new? Well, it depends on where you're from. If you're a 7 through 12 grade building, maybe you've actually been in your building for a couple of years now. So, of course, that's not new, but some things are new. And especially this year, a lot of things are new. Opportunities are different. Expectations are higher. That one there called environment, well, depending on the situation with the virus and all that sort of stuff, who knows what's happening right now or what could happen in the future. So the expectations and environment kind of change as they go on, which makes this year now ultra important for your future success. All right, now you're not alone in this deal. Everybody in front of you has done this. No, maybe not in a crazy year, but they've done it. The seniors, the ones kind of swaggering wherever they might be this year. Yep, 3 or so years ago, they were you. So you're not the only ones going down this road. This is kind of interesting. There are only 2 types of people. Think about this. There are the people who cheer when they walk into school, or the people who cheer when they walk out of school. Which one are you? Okay, no surprise. Most people say out. Well, hopefully over time, we're going to change that to in. Why? Well, think about it. Your friends are at school. Maybe you're on a sports team that you really like. That's at school. There's some class you're taking that, hey, this is a really cool class, or I really like that teacher. I don't know, maybe it's cafeteria. You just like lunchtime. Either way, hopefully over time, we're going to help you change that to cheer when you walk into school because it's an important place to be. Because here's the deal. Life is nothing but a bunch of choices, and you're about to start making a whole lot of them. Think about it. Maybe for next year, am I going to take this class or am I going to take this class? Maybe am I going to be in this club or in this one? This sports team or that one? I don't know. Am I going to date this person or this one? Choices, right? Or you could exit now. And as far as we're concerned, that is not an option. And we're going to show you why starting right now. Unfortunately, we have to start with the bad news. So here we go. National statistics, coast to coast, for the 4 years of high school, senior, junior, sophomore, freshman. The class with the lowest grade point average of all high school classes would be freshman. The class with the highest number of discipline referrals. That means you go to the principal's office for all the wrong reasons. And that's either the physical one or the virtual one. Unfortunately, again, freshmen. Not good. And then it doesn't get any better. Now, you can all read the screen here. I would love to say that these statistics here are all baloney. They're not. They're absolutely true. And in this insane year that we find ourselves in, unfortunately, they might even get a lot worse. On average, in our country, each year about 1.2 million students drop out of school. Think about that. 1.2 million every year. Now, perhaps you're a Penn State football fan. I am. All right, I live near the Beaver Stadium, big stadium. 100,000 people go there to see a football game in a normal year. Think about that. You would have to fill up Beaver Stadium over 11 times just to equal that number. That's stunning. If we figure this out for every school day, roughly, about 7,000 people drop out of school every day. So sometime today, if a school day, 7,000 people dropping out of school. And then tomorrow, another 7,000. Next school day, another 7,000. And on throughout the year. And this year, That number could even be higher, unfortunately. If we figure for every single second of every single day, somebody in our country drops out of school about every 26 seconds. Wow! Ever since you started watching this video right here, probably 10, 15, 20, 25 people have dropped out of school just since you started watching this video. And again, in this crazy year, that number could actually get worse. Here in our state, Pennsylvania, 170 students drop out of school every single school day. Wow! Now, I'll be honest here. We think of ourselves as the greatest country on earth, okay? And this happens? You have to wonder about that, huh? Let's keep going. Now, a few minutes ago, I said, who wants $1 million? Most of you put up your hand right there, okay? Look at this right here. Here's the secret. Get your high school diploma. On average, in our country, someone who at least gets a high school diploma will make about $1.2 million for their working career. There's your $1 million. Now let's keep going. College graduate, look at that increase. That's why people go to college. Big jump in money. Now, master's degree, you're going to college longer, they get to make even more money. Now, let me point out that lowest number. Now, $700,000 is a lot of money. And if I came to you in your house or whatever and I dropped $700,000 in your lap, you'd be thrilled, right? Well, two problems. Number one, the government is going to swoop in and take about a third of it. Taxes and stuff, gone. Then you need to make the rest of it last for, the next 35 or so years. Good luck with that. Let's break this down a little further. All right, if we go year to year, someone who at least has a high school diploma in our country, on average, will make about $32,000 a year. All right, that's not too bad. Now, bachelor's degree, that would be 4 or 5 years of college, trade school, that sort of thing. Look at the increase there. That's not bad. Now, doctorate degree, let's be honest, you're going to college for a long time, maybe 8 years or more, but hey, look what those folks make. That's really good. Now let's look at the number on the far left. Now, I don't know how much you've thought about the future, but at some point maybe you want to get married, you want to start a family, you want to have a nice house, you want to have a nice car, you want to take nice vacations, you want to eat. You're really going to be able to do that on that little bit of money. Check out home prices in a lot of areas out there. $200,000, $300,000, maybe even more. Nice car, $35,000, $40,000. Not going to be able to afford that on that little bit of money right there. All right, now here's a question. Think wherever you are. Right now you're thinking we're done with high school. You want to go to college or a trade school or technical school or something like that. You want to continue your education. So raise your hand if you want to do that. All right, I see a lot of hands on the other side of the lens there. Well, I tell you what, this is what colleges and schools are looking for. If you can demonstrate to any school out there that you have these attributes, they're going to take a look at you. Let's go one by one. Communication skills. You can write half decently well. You can speak half decently well. Critical thinking. You can figure things out. You can solve problems. Creativity is kind of a wide open one. I have a friend of mine, he is an unbelievable auto mechanic. He can fix anything. I'm clueless when it comes to fixing a car. If I have a problem, I take it to him. He is really creative when it comes to auto mechanics. And then curiosity. You're not afraid to learn new things. You're not afraid to investigate new things. I can guarantee you, if you can demonstrate to any school you're applying to out there that you have these attributes, at the very least, they will take a look at you. Guaranteed. Remember these items as you continue your high school career. All right, now we have this. And again, you can kind of read the screen there. Education Week magazine is a magazine for teachers and principals, and they had a story several years ago. There's the headline, High School Graduates Feel Unprepared for College and Work. And the key line of the whole story is right there on the screen. A recent survey of public high school graduates, public high school, finds that about half of them feel they are unprepared for life after high school. Most would have worked harder if they had realized the expectations of college and the workplace. Now, guys, this story is talking straight at you right now. It's too late for these people. They're already out of school. Sorry, it's the way it goes. You just started, or you're about to start. Notice this story. It is so important, and the reason why this first year of high school, freshman year, is so vitally important for your success. All right, we have some advice. There it is on the screen. They all start with A, so we call it the 6 A's. Hopefully, again, you're doing this stuff already. You have a good attitude either when you come to school or maybe you go online to do your schoolwork. You have a good attitude when you sit down to do that. You do that. In other words, you show up at school, you get online, you do what you need to do. You're not playing hooky or any of that sort of stuff. Of course, always watch your grades. Hopefully, you're already always watching your grades. Athletics and activities. Get involved with something at school. Sports team, club, activity, or something. We'll talk about that in a second. Acts of service. You're not afraid to help out other people. And then, of course, at times, you're the person maybe that needs some help. Don't be afraid to ask for it. 6 A's. Good advice there. Because I can tell you what, all the adults in your school, the administrators, the teachers, all the way down to the custodians, everybody, they want to turn out the best folks from your school as they can do. And if they can turn out people from your school with these attributes here on the left-hand side of the screen, they have done their jobs. Don't necessarily have to be a straight A student. That's nice if you are. It's not important, not the most important thing. But if you have these attributes here on the left-hand side of the screen, then your school folks know we've done our job and we've done it well. Because the bottom line, guys, is we want you to take pride in your 4-year high school experience. Grab on and do something with it. Now, what can you be involved in? You've heard a couple of clips earlier about getting involved with something and why it's important. Let's hear what these folks have to say.
I would tell new students to get involved. You really meet a lot of people, and that's what makes high school fun.
And you'll make new friends. You'll just feel better.
The marching band program is really probably my favorite thing to do.
I joined the yearbook club, and I realized that I really did like doing things with graphic arts.
I have a lot of friends from my school plays that we were in the plays together, and we've just been a lot closer now.
And it's really a great way to just meet new people and find your place.
If you're involved in at least one thing, your day will go by so quickly that it'll be like, oh wow, where'd it go?
Yes, getting involved with things at high school is so vitally important. These things on the screen. I'm going to point out the one here at the bottom. College resume or college application. Now, in a couple of years, you're going to start filling these things out. And somewhere on there, it's essentially going to say, okay, tell us what you did in high school. And if you can write on there, well, I was a member of this sports team, we did this, and I was a part of this club, and we did this, and maybe something related to some classes you did, we did these various things, and then maybe outside of school I did all sorts of different things. If you can fill up that space with lots of stuff, the college is going to look at that and say, wow, this is a pretty active kid. We're interested in this student. Now, if you leave that area blank, what's the school going to think? Oh, this kid didn't do anything. All right, let's move on to the next kid. Getting involved with one thing at school is so vitally important because when you do, this happens every single time. School suddenly becomes a more fun place to go. You enjoy things more. Sports team, club, a special class, whatever. This happens every single time. So if you're not involved with at least one thing at school yet, even if it's virtual, find something. It's out there. This is an interesting saying because it's so true. All right, you can see it there on the screen. Now, another show of hands right here. How many of you cannot wait to get your driver's license? Raise your hand. Oh boy. Well, everywhere we go, there's a ton of hands. All right, now let's think about this a little bit. Before we ever put the keys in your hands so you can go driving off somewhere, what you're telling us here is you're going to take the active responsibility to learn the rules of the road, you know, what all the signs mean, what all the lines mean, you know, how to park your car, that funky parking thing they make you do, and of course taking care of your car, how to gas it up, how to check the oil, check the tires, all that stuff, rules of the road. You're going to learn all that stuff before, of course, you take the tests and they give you the keys. All right, great, that's fine. Now, let's think about your schoolwork right now. When it comes to school, are you a driver or are you a passenger? I can tell you right now, we're looking for a whole room full of drivers. Because as it says here, passengers, they just sort of are along for the ride. They don't really do much of anything, not in control of anything. We're looking for drivers. Now, you got a lot of help. Hopefully you know that, all right? Got a lot of help. All these people on the left-hand side of the screen are there to help you. And hopefully they're doing that already, all right? Your folks, upperclassmen that you trust, you know, your coaches if you're on a sports team, lots of other people. Like this person, the guidance counselor. Now, in my experience of doing this, I've found that probably the most unknown person in a lot of schools is the guidance counselor. Oh, they just helped me get into college. Oh, no, no, no. I want you to do something sometime soon if you haven't done this already, either at school or virtually. It's up to you. Get in touch with your counselor. Introduce yourself. Then I want you to ask them a question. Hey, what can you do to help me out right now? You might be surprised at what they tell you. There are a lot of things your guidance counselor can help you out with right now, not just when you're a senior and you're going off to college. Check it out. All right, now we got these people. All right, I think you know who they are. Here's an interesting question. What makes for a great teacher? Let's see what these people have to say.
A great teacher is someone that can understand a student. You know, if you and your teacher have a good relationship and you guys understand each other, then that's there itself. Like, everything's going to fall into place.
My favorite teacher here, he's real young and he gets along with the kids. He's like a big kid himself.
My favorite teacher has been teaching for a really long time, but is somehow not tired of us, and he's probably one of the most intelligent individuals I've ever met. He's exactly what a teacher should be, and he's not afraid to make us think outside of the box and not afraid to let us express ourselves, no matter how controversial or it might be, and I really appreciate that.
The kids, you know, my peers are great, but the teachers, they're really what makes it here. They enable a good environment that gives a great, intelligent conversation and good stimulus.
Some of my favorite teachers, they're really enthusiastic and passionate about what they teach, and their passion really makes me appreciate the subject a lot more.
All right, got a serious question here for you. I want you to think about your past. Can you think of a teacher that has made a positive impact on you? Could be last year, could be this year. Maybe it's back at elementary. Maybe you came to your school from another place. But you can think of at least one teacher that has made a positive impact on you. You can see their face and you'll always remember their name. Raise your hand wherever you are if you can think of such a person. All right, a lot of hands. I wish you could see them all. Teachers are here to help you, and that even means that teacher that necessarily you don't like. Come on, I know you have one. Even that person wants you to succeed freshman year and all through your high school career. Let them help you. Now, we have all this stuff, and again, hopefully you're doing these things already, all right? Again, get involved with at least one thing at school. Even if we're all virtual, whatever happens, find something and get involved. Whenever you can, attend events, hopefully when things get back to normal, sports games, plays, concerts, art show, whatever. Go to your friends' events and, kind of cheer them on. Yes, watch your grades. Always watch your grades. And you know what? If you have some ideas for school, don't be afraid to share them. Talk to a teacher, talk to an administrator. They might say, hey, you know what? We never thought of that before. Share your ideas. You could be a valuable part of the future, because the bottom line again is this. We need to make this year count, and especially this insane, crazy year we find ourselves in. We really need to make this year count so that you don't fall behind. It's that crucially important to your future success. Once again, here are the reminders. The big day coming up in just a few years. There you are in line, wearing the cap and the gown, headed to the stage to get your high school diploma, because it's that important for your future. That thing right there. Without that thing, it's a lot more difficult. That's why we're here. Here we go, one more time. Take a look at that saying on the screen and think right now with your school efforts. Are you a driver or are you a passenger? We're looking for a whole room full of drivers. That would be awesome. Now, we said at the beginning, at the end here, we're going to ask you to do something. Now, normally in an assembly, we do something a little different, but of course, Unfortunately, we can't do that this year. But we are going to do something a little different because we want you to make your commitment to graduate on time with your class. No excuses. And if you move away in the next year or two, doesn't matter. Same time slot. So hopefully your school is going to be providing you with a couple of items. This first thing here is a certificate, and it's especially for you. It says, I am committed to graduate with my class and get my high school diploma. So you're going to be provided hopefully with this form. All you have to do is sign your name. At the bottom it says, name 3 people that you can count on to support your journey toward graduation. And those could be whatever 3 people you want them to be. Put their names down and then return that eventually to the school where it's going to get posted somewhere because we think it's that important. Now, hopefully we'll also have a second form here. This is actually for your parents or your guardians. And this one says, I am committed to supporting you. Put your name in there. And once again, down here at the bottom, name 3 additional people they can count on to support your journey to graduation. So hopefully you'll get that. Give it to a parent or parents or guardian. They'll fill it out. This is one you want to keep at home and post somewhere, maybe on the fridge, maybe on a wall, whatever. Maybe put it in a nice frame as a reminder of your commitment to graduate. And then finally we have this form. It's called the 9th grade checklist. Now this is especially for freshman year. These are very important items that you really need to be watching for here in this first year of high school to make sure you stay on schedule, stay on track to make sure you get your high school diploma. I hope that everything is going well at your end, again, during this insane year we're dealing with. It's tough. And maybe it's a little tougher for some folks more than others, but for everybody, it's tough. And so what we've shown you here is now ultra important to make sure that your high school career is a complete success. Appreciate you watching this. Thank you very much, and let's go do it.